Beloved child, be still before me. Give your soul a quiet place deep enough to hear what it has been trying to tell you for a long time. There are pains that no longer cry out, not because they have healed, but because you have grown used to living with them. There are wounds that no longer startle you, not because they have closed, but because you have learned to walk around them each day, like someone accustomed to a shard of broken glass on the floor who never bends down to clear it away. I do not want you to call numbness peace. I do not want you to call silent endurance maturity, nor do I want you to convince yourself that a bruised and wounded heart is a fate you must carry forever. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, and if I have sent the healer to those who are wounded, how could you believe that your pain is something I want you to accept as a permanent home? There were days when you smiled while your heart was bleeding, when you said you were fine simply because you did not want anyone to ask further, when you told yourself that everyone carries wounds and therefore you had no right to feel weak. But the fact that many people are hurting does not make pain normal in my eyes. A barren land cannot be called a garden merely because flowers once grew there. A neglected heart cannot bloom simply because time passes. Time may cover memories with dust, but only grace can heal them at the root. You have hidden those cracks beneath the garment of responsibility, beneath a strong appearance, beneath busyness, beneath the familiar words that everything will eventually pass. But some things do not pass on their own. They must be brought into my light, placed beneath my hand, and called by their true name, so they no longer rule over you in silence. I do not blame you for learning how to survive. I know there were seasons when you did not have enough strength to do anything except keep walking. I know there were moments when all you could do was tell yourself not to collapse for one more day. But today I am not merely calling you to exist. I am calling you to live again. If this message is reaching you in a real moment of weariness, there is a link in the description to support this project. Give only if you feel genuine peace in doing so. Every contribution helps these words reach more people who need them. Do you truly want to be made well? Not merely to hurt a little less. Not merely to feel relief for a moment, but to let me touch the deepest place within you, the place you have been avoiding for far too long. Perhaps you are afraid of that answer, because being healed means you can no longer hide behind old reasons. Being healed means releasing the familiarity of pain, even if that pain once helped explain why you did not dare to hope, did not dare to love, did not dare to move forward. But I do not pull you out of that place with harshness. I come as a gardener who knows every root, every dry branch, every fragile new shoot. I will not break what is still alive within you. I will lift it. I will not uproot your entire garden, because some places have withered. I will water, prune, tend, and breathe life into what seemed to have no spring left. Stop calling hardness of heart protection. Stop calling the inability to feel peace. Stop calling the walls around your heart wisdom. I desire to give you a heart that is gentle yet not weak. A soul that knows how to love, yet also knows discernment. A spirit open enough to receive light and strong enough not to become a dwelling place for darkness. I will remove from you the heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh. This is the work I long to do within you, not merely soothing the surface, but transforming what has grown hardened inside. Not merely wiping away today's tears, but restoring the joy that has been silenced through many seasons. So let me come near the place you once promised yourself you would never open again. Let me touch the memories that make you shrink back, the words that caused you to question your worth, the losses that left you afraid to hope for good things again. You do not need to explain everything perfectly before me. I understand even the sobs that never became words. I know the things you are too afraid to name, and I do not come to shame you for hurting too long. I come to tell you that you do not have to continue hurting this way. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. That rest is not the forgetting of everything that happened, but the laying down of your burden in the arms of the one powerful enough to heal what you cannot heal yourself. Do not wait until you stop trembling before you come. Do not wait until your wounds appear beautiful before allowing me to see them. Come exactly as you are, weary, honest, longing, perhaps still doubtful, perhaps still hurting, yet willing to be loved. I will restore the garden within you. I will soften the soil that has grown dry, pull out the roots of bitterness, lift up the tender branches, and cause the fragrance of grace to rise again from the place that once held only silence. There are mornings when sunlight falls gently across the window. Birds sing. The world continues moving. Yet inside you, it feels as cold as a room that has not been opened in a long time. You wake up, do what must be done, say the words that need to be said, smile for those who need to see that you are fine. But deep beneath it all, there is a silent emptiness you cannot quite name. I do not take that lightly. When joy no longer rises within you, when each new day arrives and your spirit feels only heaviness, this is not merely passing exhaustion. It is the quiet cry of the deepest place within you, longing for my touch. I have seen you through the long nights when no one knew how exhausted you truly were. I saw the moments you swallowed your sighs in silence, the times you forced a smile so others would not worry, the moments you told yourself you were fine while your heart hung low like a sail without wind. You have tried to become strong by continuing on, continuing to work, continuing to endure, continuing to meet expectations, continuing to hide the things that hurt you. But enduring is not always healing. Busyness is not always moving forward. Silence is not always peace. Some pains do not disappear simply because you stop speaking about them. They only retreat deeper within, waiting for the day your heart becomes too weary to hide them any longer. Are you truly light within? Or have you simply become so accustomed to carrying burdens in silence that you no longer realize they are bending your shoulders lower with each passing day? Do not be afraid to look into the places you have avoided. I know why you avoid them. There are memories that make your soul tremble whenever you touch them. You fear that if you stop for a moment, everything you have struggled to hold together will collapse. You fear that if you begin to cry, the tears will never end. You fear that if you admit you are hurting, you will no longer be the strong person you tried so hard to become. But true strength is not never breaking into tears. True strength is daring to bring your tears into my presence. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. I do not ask you to come after you have put your heart in perfect order. I ask you to come while you are still tired, still confused, still heavy, still unsure where to begin. Remember Elijah. He stood boldly before the people, witnessed fire fall from heaven, and then afterward fled in fear and exhaustion. He sat beneath a tree so discouraged that he asked to die. Even one who had stood strong in me could reach a place of weariness so deep within the soul. Yet I did not rebuke him for being weak. I did not ask why he was not braver. I sent an angel to touch him, bringing bread and water so he could eat, rest, and continue on, until I met him in a gentle whisper. In the same way, I do not come to you merely demanding that you rise immediately. Sometimes the holiest thing you need is to let me nourish you, let me give you rest, let me speak again to your soul that you have not been abandoned in your exhaustion. Faith is not carrying the entire world upon your shoulders and calling it maturity. Faith is entrusting to me what you are too weary to carry. Faith is daring to say, Father, I need you, without shame for that need. Cast all your anxiety on him, because he cares for you. Not only a portion, not only the lighter things, not only the burdens you believe are worthy enough to bring before me. Everything that is draining your strength. The link in the pinned comment is there for anyone who feels led to support this work. Give what you feel moved to give, freely and without pressure. Let me place my hand gently upon the eyes of your soul as well, not only on your wounds, but upon the way you see. There are things you have allowed to enter through your gaze, not all at once, not dramatically, but little by little. An image that seems harmless, a comparison that feels like awareness, a repeated pattern of looking at what darkens rather than what nourishes. And slowly the lamp within you begins to flicker, not from one great gust of wind, but from the gradual accumulation of what was never meant to be inside. The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eye is healthy, your whole body will be full of light. What you look upon with attention, will find its way into your mind. What remains in your mind will touch your emotions. What settles in your emotions long enough will begin to shape how you see yourself, how you see others, and how you see me. There are gazes that draw you away from me, not only because they contain impurity, but because they teach you to see yourself wrongly. You look at the lives of others and think you are late. You look at the standards of the world and think you lack worth. You look at the past and think you cannot change. You look at the wound and forget to look at the healer. But there are also images that are seeds of life. When you look upon what is pure, true, and beautiful, when you look upon what causes your heart to remember me, peace, gratitude, hope, and tenderness begin to rise within you. This is why guarding the eyes is not restriction. It is protection of the most precious thing you carry. Remember David, the one anointed, the one who sang sacred songs, who defeated Goliath by faith. Yet one evening, when he remained where he should have been watchful, his eyes rested upon what did not belong to him. From an unguarded look, his heart moved into desire. That story was not recorded, so you would despise him. It was recorded so you would understand that even those who have walked closely with me must guard the gates of their souls. Therefore, make a holy covenant with your eyes. Not a harshness that makes you shrink from life, but a wisdom that protects the lamp within you. Before you look, ask, does this bring me closer to the light or slowly into dimness? Does this make my heart more loving, more peaceful, more whole? Or does it leave me more restless, more empty, more distant from the voice I need most? The Holy Spirit will teach you discernment. He does not warn only through prohibition, but through the quiet departure of peace from your heart when you begin to draw near to what does not belong to life. When peace leaves, notice it. That is your signal. And when your eyes turn back toward me, when you look upon what is true, honorable, pure, lovely, and commendable, the lamp within you is filled with oil again. You will begin to see grace in ordinary things. You will notice my fingerprints in moments you once passed by without seeing. You will recognize that I am nearer than you realized, even in the stretches that felt most empty. Beloved child, the lamp I placed within you was never meant to shine only for a season and then go out. It was not born from your perfection. It does not survive only by your endurance. It comes from my breath, from my life, from the love I placed within you before you even knew your own name. What I ignite through grace is not as fragile as your emotions. It may grow dim. It may be surrounded by the ashes of exhaustion. But it is still there, waiting to be nourished again by the oil of communion with me. Do not allow the enemy to convince you that one stumble is proof the lamp within you is no longer holy. Do not allow dry seasons to make you believe I have withdrawn my presence from you. The flame that appears to have gone out may simply be lacking oil. And that oil does not come from trying harder, doing more, or becoming the image others expect of you. It comes from remaining in me, from sincere prayer, from repentance without hiding, from gratitude in small things, from opening the scriptures and allowing my word to fall like drops of oil upon the wick of your heart. Fan into flame the gift of God within you. Return to the source of the original fire. Remember the widow of Zarephath in the days of Elijah. She had only a handful of flour and a little oil, believing it was the last portion before everything ran dry. Yet when she obeyed and offered that little in faith, the jar of flour was not used up and the jug of oil did not run dry. You may think the oil within you is too little, your faith too small, your strength too weak. But if you place that little portion into my hands, I can cause it to keep flowing. I do not need you to have a full storehouse before you come to me. I only need you to open the vessel of your heart and believe that your Father's supply never runs dry. When the lamp within you is lit again, you will realize that life returning is not always loud. It may begin with a lighter breath, a more honest prayer, a tear that is no longer hopeless, a morning when your heart feels able to hope once more. Then that light spreads like dawn within the soul, slowly yet irresistibly, shining again upon the path before you, helping you discern what should be kept and what must be released, what is my voice and what brings only confusion. And as that light grows, others will feel its warmth as well. They may not fully understand what I have done within you, but they will recognize in you a peace that is not of this world, a kindness not born from ease, and a light that has not been extinguished by the long night. This world is not lacking false lights. It has many glories, much noise, and many lamps that are dazzling yet cold. What the world needs is not souls trying to shine so they can be seen, but people who truly abide in me, who keep the oil of grace within their hearts, who live by the breath of the Holy Spirit in ordinary life. You do not need a great stage in order to shine. Sometimes your light passes through a gentle word to someone in despair, through silence that refuses revenge when wounded, through honesty when no one is watching, through a prayer of intercession for someone who once hurt you. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. True light does not need display in order to carry power. It only needs to burn faithfully in my presence. So today, return to me. Lay down the burden you have carried for far too long. Let me hold the part of you that has grown weary, the part that has been afraid, the part that has tried so hard to prove it is fine. I do not love you less when you are weak. I do not leave you when you cry. I am not disappointed that you need support. You are my child, and your Father is here. When the next morning comes, I want the light not only to shine through the window, but also to shine within your heart. I want you to awaken, not merely to continue enduring, but to begin living again. Come close, beloved child. Give me what you cannot carry. And within my embrace, you will learn again that rest is not failure, but the place where new life begins.